Give us your caste matrix. Yes.
Yes, in terms of the caste matrix, we shared the data with you. See, the thing is that in Bihar, as everybody else has pointed out, the thing is that everything boils down to caste is what everybody has been saying. And if you just add the caste supporting particular alliances and the parties which are parts of those alliances, then NDA already has a clear edge. So I don't see why there is so much conflict about the idea that NDA is going to, win this election. Because if we just add up the caste supporting various castes and communities supporting various parties of the NDA, their social matrix is far more, far stronger, far bigger than the social matrix of the Mahagathbandhan.
Amit Shah thought in 2015, Ashok Malik, that he could change that, challenge that the BJP is strong enough to win alone, as he discovered when the BJP won just more than 50, that's not the case. Rajan Pandey says, you just look at the caste lineup at the starting point and you know how this election finishes. Is that what Bihar will always be about?
No, not just Bihar. I mean, if you look at UP last year, that was also a very clever class coalition building by the Samajwadi Party and the Congress together, which did eventually
Why do you think Gathbandhan couldn't do it in Bihar?
Well, if you look at UP last year, just comparing UP last year to Gathbandhan this year, if these indeed are the results, the Muslim Yadav candidates were not at the forefront of the Samajwadi Party. They put together a vast sort of rainbow of candidates from different communities. I don't think the Mahagathbandhan or RJD did that.
That's a very basic and obvious thing to do. Rajan Pandey, why do you think they didn't do it? Especially because Akhilesh Yadav successfully laid out a template and a playbook in the Lok Sabha elections. Why did Tejashwi not follow it? So many Yadav candidates being given tickets versus, as Ashok pointing out, so many of the big faces of the SP are actually non-Yadavs, non-Muslims in 2024.
That's what surprises me also, because that was something which was tried and tested in Uttar Pradesh with success from one of the alliance partners of the India alliance, and that same formula could have been replicated. But there are two things for which I think Tejashwi could not do it. Number one, Tejashwi Yadav does not control the Yadav votes of Bihar like Akhilesh Yadav controls it in UP. So Akhilesh Yadav could say to Yadavs, okay, we are not going to give tickets to these many other, more than these numbers, and still the Yadavs will vote for Samajwadi Party. That could not happen in Bihar. In fact, in Bihar, if you look at Mithila and Simanchal regions, you will find that Yadavs, whenever there is a candidate, a Muslim candidate or non-Yadav candidate from the Mahagathbandhan alliance partners, they actually vote in BJP. And this, in fact, in case of JDU also, JDU has shown that it could get Yadav votes with ease. One of the biggest strongmen of Kosi Simanchal region from the JDU side is Vijender Yadav, who has been there since last 30 years. So the type of control that Akhilesh Yadav commands in terms of the Yadav votes is not there. And secondly, we were talking about leadership of Tejashwi and his problems. If you talk to the RJD cadres in Bihar, you'll find that his biggest problem is his consultant Sanjay Yadav, his advisor Sanjay Yadav. I mean, I was surprised to see the sheer scale of RJD cadres who hate Sanjay Yadav. And to such an extent that actually there was a family feud between Misa Bharti and one of the sisters and Sanjay Yadav and Tejashwi Yadav and all.
No, so there is this entire family dynamic, Veer Sanghvi. The other is, there is a template that Akhilesh laid out last year. He showed you how to win, or at least compete and give them a bloody nose, and yet he didn't follow that. Forget whether it worked for him or not, he couldn't even follow it.
Yeah, I actually find his whole campaign to be a bit of a mystery, because he didn't do anything significantly different. He didn't appear to stand for anything. He attacked Modi, he attacked the Chief Minister, he attacked Nitish, but so what? He needed to have some issue that could get him elected. He needed to have a strategy that could change the way in which people voted. He did nothing. It was just more of the same. And when you have more of the same, because Nitish did more of the same, and he did more of the same, it is, as Shivrasta says, people go back to identity, to caste, and there they were at a disadvantage.
It also shows, Chetan, how the opposition in India seems locked in a chakravyuh where they can't find a way out.
They need a story and they can't seem to get that one story which is against the NDA, that all over the country it seems to be an issue. Bihar people thought they might have a chance because the Muslim population is much higher. There's a lot of reasons why Bihar they could have won. And if you see the opinion poll 6 months back, they were neck and neck. I mean, it was supposed to be a nail biter. But, and even the last elections, the vote shares and all were very, very close. If you remember the data, this time there seems to be much more. So, you know, opposition has tried. To be fair, they all have been, like Bihar has been very important. They have been trying. They did try to do the candidate selection. But yeah, they don't have that story.
Which the opposition is stuck in this Chakravyuh which they can't seem to get out of.
I tend to agree with Chetan, and to the starting point, I think sometimes, and I say this because I want the opposition to win, we are stuck in an echo chamber. We are, as I said earlier, the inability of Tejashwi Yadav to break through that 35%. We are stuck in every universe in those who are cheering us, not wanting to see the extra fence sitters that we want to get onto our side. So we start believing the narrative that we create. For example, let me say that the vote chori issue was okay till the extent to get your cadre mobilized in the beginning of the election. It shouldn't have carried on. Now, elections, and Prabhu sir, you will agree with me, is a lot like momentum. You had a momentum going in the beginning of before the BJP even started a campaign. That was suddenly broken. Suddenly you didn't know what was happening. You had two different things, and nobody took Tejashwi seriously when he said, I can give you 3 crore jobs. So everything should have been
and with the vote Adhikar Yatra, you kind of build it further as you come close to polling. You don't take it to a climax and then go off on a lead.
Exactly what PK did. So the whole thing should have then translated into vote Adhikar, should have become Bihar Adhikar, and come back and we will give you your Adhikar. We didn't do
But anyway, that's for the losing side in these exit polls. The victors though, what's the sense in that cap? Dhananjay Giri joins us, spokesperson of the BJP. Dhananjay ji, the NDA and the BJP would be quite pleased with the numbers in the way they stand right now?
Nikhil Anand here.
Boliye,
Rahul, Dhananjay Giri is not joining you. I am Nikhil Anand.
Boliye, sir.
Yeah. See, this election is very interesting in the sense that there was no other credible face. And Tejashwi felt to create a kind of conviction among the masses. And here we took the lead. NDA was a united force which started their campaign long back. In August, you remember, we held our collective district level NDA meeting in all the districts we held. Then we started with all assembly constituency had a NDA Sammelan. We completed this in September, October, half of the October. And here we took the lead. And Tejashwi felt to create a kind of rapport with Rahul Gandhi. Both were pulling the election apart. Vote chori was diffused, and Tejashwi Yadav came up with a very lucrative agenda, offered the Jivika sisters 30,000 rupees and permanent jobs, as well as other agenda by giving job to every household, a person of every household. But he failed to bring this agenda to the masses.
No, so now one of the subtext, of course, is how important is it, Nikhilji, whether the BJP comes out number 1 or number 2? Do you think the actual thing to look at is BJP and JDU and who ends up first and who ends up second? Would you be tracking that very carefully? Could there be a plot after the data comes out on the 14th?
No, actually, there was a good compatibility and coherence. And we responded each other very well. In every constituency where even LJP contested, the JDU and BJP workers were managing the election. In my constituency, Maner, it was done. And I see that the kind of rapport we saw among the NDA cadres, that was not there in earlier elections.
Okay. Stay with me for a moment. I want to go across to Maithili Thakur. She's a well-known singer, politician, contested her first election, one of the young faces in this campaign. Maithili, welcome. How was this campaign for you? As someone straight out of the world of music, fighting an election. What was this experience like for you?
I think this was the best decision of my life. और जिस तरीके से लोगों के बीच रहकर मुझे ये 30 दिन में मैंने जो सीखा है, ये किसी भी किताब से, किसी भी अन्य सोर्स से मैं नहीं सीख सकती थी। और 1 महीने मेरे लिए पूरा लाइफ चेंजिंग रहा है।
तो क्या सीखा आपने? गाने गाना एक चीज़ है, लोगों के बीच में जाके वोट मांगना आप कह रहे हैं कि बहुत सीखा आपने। हमारे दर्शकों को बताएं NDTV पे कि क्या सीखा आपने?
राजनैतिक अनुभव मेरा शून्य था। 1 महीने में मैंने ये सीखा है कि कैसे किसी भी चीज़ से ऊपर जनता जनार्दन का सम्मान, स्नेह और प्यार है, और किस तरीके से आप लोगों के बीच में रह करके उनकी सारी समस्याओं को पहले सुने और अपने हिसाब से आप उनकी कैसे मदद कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि राजनीति एक ऐसा मंच आपको देता है, एक ऐसी ताकत भी आपको देता है जिससे आप लोगों की समस्याओं को समाधान बहुत ही एफिशिएंटली कर सकते हैं। तो ये सारी चीज़ें, एक पर्सनल मैनिफेस्टो बनाना अपने क्षेत्र के लिए जो हमारी पार्टी ने दिया है वो तो है ही, उसको जन जन तक पहुंचाना, कैसे वो सारी चीज़ें लोगों तक, वो सारी सुख सुविधाएं पहुंचाएं, अपने हिसाब से आपको कहाँ कहाँ क्या क्या त्रुटियां नज़र आ रही हैं उसको ठीक करना। तो ये सब चीज़ों का एक संकलन बनाना कि आने वाले 5 साल में मुझे क्या क्या करना है। तो ये दूरदृष्टि मुझे राजनीति ने ही सिखाया है।
तो आप अलीनगर से लड़ रही थी, आपका अलायंस तो जीत रहा है, ऐसे एग्जिट पोल के डेटा बता रहे हैं। आपको विश्वास है कि आप भी जीत रही हैं, या आप में अभी जैसे एग्जाम से पहले छात्र की थोड़ी टेंशन होती है कि एग्जाम तो हो गया, पता नहीं पर्चा कैसा कटेगा?
मेरा 1 सेकंड भी ये मैं नहीं सोच रही हूँ कि क्या होगा मेरे साथ, मैं जीतूंगी या हारूंगी, क्योंकि मैं इतनी ज़्यादा खुश और सेटिस्फाइड हूँ अपने 30 दिन के जर्नी से कि मुझे पूरा विश्वास है। ऐसा नहीं तो मन में फीलिंग आती है कि नहीं, मैं 5 साल में अब यहीं पे लोगों के बीच में रह करके सेवा करने वाली हूँ, तो मैं उसके लिए मेंटली तैयार हूँ।
अच्छा, आप फोक सिंगर हैं, तो मैं चाहूँगा कि जाने से पहले आप ये बताएं कि इस समय जब वोटिंग ख़त्म हो चुकी है बिहार में, आपके जहन में, आपकी ज़ुबान पर, आपके दिमाग में क्या गाना आ रहा है?
मैं लोकगीत ही सुनाती हूँ एक, बिल्कुल वोटिंग और इस सब माहौल से हट करके जो मैं सोच रही हूँ।
प्लीज़।
भगवती गीत सुनाती हूँ, क्योंकि आज मैं बहुत सारे मंदिर भी दर्शन करने गई थी।
अच्छा, अगर आपके जहन में 2-3 गाने तो आपको 2-3 सुनाने होंगे। आप बोल रही कि अलग अलग गाने आ रहे, तो पहले वाले से स्टार्ट करते हैं प्लीज। यस।
जगदम्बा घर में दियरा बार आईनी है, जग तारण घर में दियरा बार आईनी है, हम बार आईनी है दियरा, बार आईनी है, हम बार आईनी है दियरा, बार आईनी है, जगदम्बा घर में दियरा बार आईनी है, जग तारण घर में दियरा।
वेरी नाइस। आपको लगता है आपकी आवाज़ सुन के वोटर्स ने आपको वोट दिया, या आपके चुनावी वायदे सुन के?
अरे हमारे वोटर्स इतने ज़्यादा सजग कहूँ, क्या कहूँ, समझदार है कि उनको कोई भी जुमला उनके सामने में रखा जाए उससे प्रभावित ना होते हुए उनको मालूम है कि हमको कैसा बिहार चाहिए। मेरे
शुभराष्ट्र है, शुभराष्ट्र भी बिहार से आती है, उनके पास आपके लिए एक फरमाइश है। शुभराष्ट्र
जी बताइए।
मैथिली, आप प्लीज विद्यापति जी का भगवती गीत गा दीजिए।
जय जय भैरवी असुर भयाउनी, पशुपति भामिनी माया, सहज सुमति वर दियहि गोसाउनी, अनुगत गति तू अपाया, जय जय भैरवी असुर भयाउनी।
Thank you.
Thank you. She's looking very calm, very relaxed. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll have you back on the 14th and we wish you all the best. It does teach you a lot, Prabhuji. Just fighting in 1 month, I can quite imagine what the young girl is saying. Teaches you more than any school and college you can go to.
Very confident. I admire her for that. But coming back to your basic agenda.
Yeah,
then.
so we'll slip into a break, and when we come back, we'll show you what the poll of polls say. We've shown you all the different polls. We'll bring it together, give you the big picture, try and hear from some of the voices out in the field and from our pundits in the studio. Our coverage of the exit poll continues on the other side of a quick break. Stay with us.